I would like you to just sit back and relax. Close your eyes. And as you begin to relax now, I would like you to imagine that with each breath in, you're breathing in new life. And with each breath out, you're breathing out the old. So, we are creating a cycle of breathing here. New life in, followed by old life out. New life in, followed by old life out. And as you breathe, we're going to imagine that the outside world is beginning to completely fade away, so that the only thing that's important now is you sitting there, listening to the sound of my voice, allowing the conscious mind the opportunity to gradually slow down, function by function, step by step, so that the unconscious mind can now begin to rise to the surface. Each breath that you take, each sound that I make, allowing the state of your relaxation to grow and expand. All right, doing just great. Now, to continue this process, I'm going to give you a series of exercises that will allow your body and conscious mind the opportunity to completely relax. Because as your conscious mind relaxes, so too can the unconscious mind continue to rise to the surface. And the first thing that I would like you to do is concentrate all of your attention onto your forehead. Just imagine that your forehead is the most predominant part of your body. And as you concentrate on your forehead, I would like you to imagine that you can feel 3 tendons or muscles stretched very tight across the surface of the forehead between the left and the right temples. And these muscles are stretched very tight because of all the stress and the tension of the day and the week. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to count backwards from 3 down to 1. And as I count, I want you to imagine that each tendon or muscle is beginning to relax. And as each muscle relaxes, the conscious mind relaxes even more. And the unconscious mind rises to the surface more. Each breath that you take, each sound that I make, allowing the process of relaxation to grow even more. And I'm going to begin now with the count of 3. And the first tendon relaxes like a rubber band that was once stretched tight. It now begins to hang loose. We now count down to 2. The second tendon relaxes, conscious mind going on standby even more. The world of the unconscious mind rising completely to the surface now. Tension and anxiety draining out of your body and mind. The seat upon which you are sitting, acting as a sponge, soaking up any excess tension and anxiety as I now count down to 1. Final tendon relaxes. Tension and anxiety fading completely away now as a wave of relaxation now begins to flow all over your body. Muscles in the cheek relaxing now. Muscles around the eyes relaxing. Eyelids becoming very heavy as you sink deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. That's right. Muscles in the neck and the shoulders relaxing now. Your arms and hands relaxing. Your chest and stomach and your hips. And now your legs, your calves, and finally your feet. Until the whole body is perfectly calm and perfectly relaxed. And now that you are perfectly calm and relaxed, and your state of relaxation is growing and expanding with each breath and each sound, I am now going to give you an image that will allow us to access the part of the mind where metaphors are formed, where personality and behavior commences. As we now make the transition between the unconscious mind and the deep unconscious. And the image that I want you to see is that of a long flight of stairs. You are standing at the top of the stairs, and this staircase that you see represents the passageway between the conscious mind and the deep unconscious. And what I'm going to do is count backwards from 10 down to 1. And with each count that I make, I want you to walk down the flight of stairs. And as you descend the staircase, so will the state of your relaxation grow and expand in an ever increasing fashion. Beginning now with the count of 10, standing at the top of the stairs, counting down to 9, walking down the stairs, sinking deeper and deeper and deeper still into a relaxed state. Counting down now to 8, approaching the metaphoric structures of consciousness. Down to 7 and 6, leaving the conscious world completely behind now. And 5 and 4, approaching the bottom of the stairs as the world of the unconscious mind rises completely to the surface now. And 3 and 2, and finally 1. Perfectly calm, perfectly relaxed, the unconscious mind now preparing to shift and alter in accordance with the images I am now about to give. Any moment now, I'm going to be suggesting to you pictures and images for you to create in your mind. And these pictures will represent and actually access their corresponding metaphoric structures in the deep unconscious mind. And during this process, I'm going to be asking you to shift and alter these images. And as the pictures shift and alter, so do the metaphoric structures of the deep unconscious mind also shift, and alter. Now, in our first metawalk, we went looking for your sheriff because he had been ill. And when we found him at his home next to the oasis with the fresh, clean pool of water, we discovered that he had been healed and he had been sprucing up his house. It was really good to see your sheriff was healthy and able to carry on with his work. His job is in enforcing the laws and keeping you and your home safe and secure. So today, we're going to begin right where we left off. We are in the desert looking at this beautiful oasis with the pool of nice fresh blue water and the trees casting shade. Maybe you can see the bright blue of the clear sky, and maybe you can smell the freshness of the air, redolent with the scent of green things and clean, refreshing water. Maybe you can hear, and maybe you can see little creatures darting here and there as you look around and take in the beauty with your sheriff and your wolf who is with you. And he greets you exuberantly, so glad to be together. And he gazes deeply into your eyes. He has been keeping the score with his bright eyes. And you notice his healthy, vibrant coat. And because your reversals say the sheriff got false, we're going to open up and sheriff up. We are adding a sergeant to your team of administration. And as your wolf has been watching the war you have been having with he that did your lumber, as the reversals say, meaning the dad whose habit has made you an heir of his silver beast with a bad docket. Now, a docket is an agenda, and so you are delivering the news that the agenda is changing. And you are going to trek around the desert on this nice clear day. And as the journey begins, you see the Earl coming over a dune. Your reversals say he looks sad, and you give him a salutation. And so he joins with you as you are headed east, looking for the primordial forest of the past. As you walk, you are picking up other wolves who are going to travel with you on your trek into the past. These wolves represent those around you who lend you strength to heal you and prevent you from fishing in doubt, so that you can begin to reign over your circuit. Because your reversals say you cannot with your own dipper. Now, dipper is an object used to reach in and draw something out. With the others coming with to help you snare the law, because your reversals say you cannot lasso heaven. Reversals have also said that the source of this bad habit that you took on began when you were just 15 years old. And we must trace this aim of mucking, as you are ruled by an acid snake. An acid snake is something that has come down through the lines of family. An acid snake is one that eats at you. The reversals say that it's a circus if you live it. And you have been living what caused the war at home and the acid burn. You have been wearing this mark of your dad and the men in your family. Your reversals say that this is the result of eating the family food. In metaphor, the food is the source of spiritual sustenance or energy source, and that it is painful, this acid of yours, according to your reversals. This one exhibits itself in the use of your evening wine. So, we're going to trace this energy back to the source in order to change the course of your circuit. Access these metaphors now. Now, as you're walking and talking with your friends, just ambling along, can you feel the sun shining down and warming your face and arms? Not too hot, feels just right. There's a slight breeze, and it feels wonderful on your skin. You look around and you sight your wolves way up ahead of you and your growing crew. They're chasing rabbits into their warren and then flushing them out and tearing and ripping them apart and eating them. Because this image brings in the knocks and helps to strengthen you at your work and in your home. As you and your crew continue on your journey, further along, there are more trees. Can you hear the bird song? And the light is becoming much more muted. As you begin to enter a wood, there are climbing vines, and the trees are getting bigger and bigger with rougher bark, and now ancient looking, as we have finally found the way into the primordial forest. Suddenly, your shoes are beginning to stick, and you must begin to travel more slowly as you have entered a more swampy area. Your reversal call this manigua, and this is the way to release the hold of the acid snake. It must be beginning to smell rather dank, and maybe you can smell the humus of the deep forest floor where everything began. Access these metaphors now. As you look around, taking in the changes in scenery, you see a knight riding up on his trusty steed, whose name is Hannon, and he is going the same way you are. He is marking the way for the Marquis who is to come. And you all just begin to travel slowly and carefully together. As you continue, the knight yells out, and you see the acid snake fell onto the knight, biting his arm. And the knight flings the acid snake, who then slithers into the manigua and disappears. A massive stop sign suddenly appears. The situation is acute. You stand in the kill spot, 1-to-1 with the knight, and suck out the venom, mending the arm. Then you barf out the venom and the acid you've been drinking into the manigua, releasing the dam with all your cares that was stopping and sopping all the ground around. And you watch it suddenly flow out of the area with the release of the dirty and stagnant waters. And as the acid recedes, you see a whirlwind spinning faster and faster and pulling up all the surrounding swamp with its ancient and soppy wood and debris. The whirlwind is enveloping the manigua. Access this metaphor now with the drink and the snake and all the nerves that came with it. And as the whirlwind spins faster and faster, it sucks it all up together, and you can see the dirt and the hurt and the sickness that came with it until it just collapses in upon itself with a brilliant flash of light, taking every trace of the swampy terrain and with all the pain. Access these metaphors now. Now, you and your companions, the sheriff and the sergeant, and the knight with his steed, look around at the fresh, clean ground you are all standing on. And just then, the Marquis comes around a copse of trees, and you see him for the very first time. The Earl is wearing a great big grin, and the wolves are playful and full of glee. The Marquis climbs down from his coach, and the Earl washes his shoes, as the reversals say, and helps to load Hannon, the steed. For the knight, with the newly mended arm and backbone, and pronounces the law applied by the law of Nim, which is a game of removing things by subtraction. The acid snake and the silver beast, of which you were once heir, is no more. Whether it seems silly or not, the shedding of it is done. Access this metaphor now. Now, out of the mess comes those who are the garnished of you, as your reversals say, meaning a more refined way of living and looking and dealing in this world. Now, where the whirlwind was spinning, there stands a door that opens a new neural pathway, and the wolves go through it first to sniff out your new niche. And you, with your new friends, head off into the future, having done away with the old mark and running over your old circuit with a new club mark and a new circuit. As you pass through the doorway leading to your new circuit, you and the sheriff and the sergeant and the Earl, who is becoming a Marquis, along with your wolf and your friends, Walk into a brighter, more promising new day. And then you see that just up ahead, the path forks. One fork goes left and the other path forks right. You and all your friends veer onto the right path. You are walking into the bright, clean future. And as you walk, again, just ambling along, you come upon a cafe with a scenic view of a climbing wall. In front of the wall, you might see there are people engaging different activities. Some are climbing, a few are in yogic poses, and others still are sitting in deep meditation or prana. You and your posse go and sit at the cafe and get a refreshing drink of cool, clean water that comes straight from the source. And the cafe owner puts out a plate of manna for all of you to sample as you plan and discuss for the new circuit and what you will fill it with. Access these images clearly and succinctly now. We have come to the end of this journey, and I'm going to bring you back to full awareness very shortly now. And the unconscious mind is going to process all these images that you have seen over the next few days and weeks and make changes accordingly. And these changes will gradually filter out from the deepest part of your being, eventually affecting your conscious behavior and manifesting in your physical world. I am now going to slowly count from 1 to 5 and gradually bring you back from this relaxed state to full awareness again. On the count of 1, the pictures gradually begin to fade now. And 2, the unconscious mind gradually returns to where it was. And 3, breathing and heart rate return to normal. And 4, conscious mind returns to full awareness. And 5, you can now begin to open your eyes and return to the room wide awake and fully refreshed.